mode or in tablet or tent mode. We reached out to a couple of vendors, one of them being CDWG, who we've worked with quite a bit in the past, as well as purchasing our Chromebooks from them in years past. They are part of the ILTPP purchasing cooperative, which essentially does the bidding process for us up front with vendors to ensure governmental organizations receive the most competitive pricing. CDWG, for the 335 devices with their accompanying 4-year warranty, will cost $167,835, to which approximately $51,000 of Title I funds will be used to cover the purchase. I am bumping this up from years past. Typically, it's a little bit later in the spring. However, with potential tariffs, a lot of our electronics manufacturers who manufacture overseas are announcing price increases. So we want to get this in before that starts to take effect.
Any questions for Brittany? And just, we will have an action item later in the agenda, right, on the Chromebooks?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Brittany.
Yes.
You got one question.
Oh, sorry, question.
No, sorry, just individually, how much do these Lenovo 500E Yoga Chromebooks cost?
Individually, for this quote, it's $339. The accompanying warranty is $126 per unit.
All right.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Brittany. If we could somehow get the slides on there, otherwise I will adjust as we go to the next slide.
I don't want to start the meeting all
Oh, but no, don't worry. No, and that's okay. Well, we're gonna be fine. The next agenda item,
Let me kick the plug out.
is that you, Reed? Did you? Summer school dates and preview. You ready for that, Kate?
I'm ready.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
All right, it's February, but we're thinking about summer already. So we set our summer school dates. We're going to continue what we started last year, where we have the 2 sessions. We're going to front load session 1 so that all of the in-person instruction is in June. That worked out really well for teachers and students. So Monday, June 2nd through Thursday, June 26th. If you remember, our summer school model goes a Monday through Thursday, which is also really great for students. We run 8:30 to 12:45. We'll have June 19th off. So like I said, session 1 will have in-person classes and also credit recovery, which is our online programming. Session 2 runs from Monday, June 30th to Thursday, July 24th. That's a much smaller session. That is just for credit recovery. It's online. It's a smaller group of students. We'll have July 3rd off. It'll be that same time period. But it also is going to work really well this year, just coinciding with construction and things like that. So you're kind of front loading that. So we're excited to be able to offer those 2 sessions again.
Okay, any questions on summer school? I know it seems like it's a ways off, but it's coming up quicker than you think. Okay, next item, Dr. Coranda, you don't need any slides, right? Class of 2024, profile data.
Good evening. Annually, we compile data on the previous year's graduating class. The data we compile, Rachel Georgakis, our college and career counselor, has a meeting with the seniors in May, and they fill out a survey for us, letting us know what their future plans are. We asked them a lot of questions about, for example, first-year college status or scholarship information and so on, which is all detailed in the report. So I have a few items here on the slides that I'll talk through. It's a lot of post-secondary plans. Then, after they graduate in May, the following winter, which was just this past winter, we work with the National Clearinghouse data, and we're able to kind of dig in a little bit and see what percentage of those students that reported to us, where do they end up, and kind of what their post-secondary plans are. So in this case, the class of 2024 was 304 graduating seniors that submitted a survey about their plans. 38% said they planned on going to a 4-year institution, 39% a community college 2-year institution, 7% to trade school, 3% starting an apprenticeship, 6% said they planned on beginning working and not attending school this year, 2% joining the military, and then 6% marked other. The National Clearinghouse report that we were able to reference indicated that 30% went to the four-year institution, 24% went to a two-year institution. There are, we talk about this in our office area a lot because the difference between 38 to 30 and 39 to 24 is significant, and so we try to find out what we can about, did the students take a year off? Did they go to trade school instead? Did they join the military? You know, it's sometimes hard to track that after they're gone, but the National Student Clearinghouse only tracks post-secondary institutions, and so we're able to know the 4 and the 2 year, but anything else that they may have listed, we're not able to easily track. So Rachel Georgakis, our college career counselor, she's able sometimes to reach out to try and catch up and see, and some students do stay in touch as well. So we do talk about that data as well, about, you know, what happened to their journey or their plans, you know, and what caused the change. The class of 2024 is currently attending 55 different institutions. College of DuPage is the most at 108. That's for the current year. Elmhurst University is at 16. The University of Illinois at Chicago is 12. We also have about 5 or 6 students each at ISU, NIU, and Marquette. And then the other, between 1 and 3 are attending the remaining institutions. They're in 105 different programs. Undecided is the biggest indicator that we were given by students, but the most common majors: nursing, engineering, biology, and computer science. So there's a wide range of interest in the students and what their plans are for their post-secondary after high school. Of the applicants that applied, 80% responded that they are a first-generation college student. And then for those attending college, 65% said they will stay at home with family, 30% will live on campus, and 5% will live off campus and not with family. So the students do tell us a lot, and we try to work with that information each successive school year as we're talking with students about their plans to see what sort of information we can do with them through school links and try to help them with their post-secondary planning. For financial aid, they reported earning just over $2.9 million in scholarships, which is a tremendous number. And they do this through the FAFSA program as well as applying for scholarships. Sarah McDougall coordinates our scholarships in our counseling office. And so students, you know, were awarded and able to use a significant amount of money. Most graduates file the FAFSA or the alternative application through ISAC, and 66% who did qualified for the Pell Grant and 55% for the MAP grant. The Pell Grant is a federal grant that helps subsidize post-secondary education. They use a formula through the FAFSA at the U.S. Department of Education, and then they award based on significant financial need. Sometimes those can be paid back, sometimes they do not need to be paid back, depends on the circumstances. And then from there, from the Pell Grant, additional financial aid resources then stack on top of that to try and assist students through their tuition and other expenses at their institutions. Then the MAP grant is an Illinois-based grant. So along the same lines, that's one of the ones that would stack onto the Pell Grant, and the MAP grant oftentimes does also not need to be paid back because it is for significant financial assistance for students. Yep.
How does the Pell Grant award numbers compare to our reduced or free lunch numbers?
That's a very good question. I will see if I can dig into that and find what that looks like, and if I can match the students to those two things together. That 66% that said they qualified for it. I'll talk with Rachel and we'll see what we can put together from the system. I don't have that at hand, but I will map that out.
I just didn't know there was a correlation there. So.
Yeah. I will check that as well as the map to see.
Thank you.
And then I could pass that along to the board.
Okay.
Yeah, just send it to Sammy, he'll get it to us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And our graduation profile, so we do trend data as well. So this will be the last 8 or so years, 9 years. Again, attending 4-year institution and 2-year institutions. So currently, for the class of 2024, what we've learned from the National Clearinghouse is that 30% of our students are attending a 4-year institution and 24% are in a 2-year institution. That the 4-year institution since 2020 has kind of either stayed the same or trended downward a little bit from the COVID year, and then same thing with the 2-year. So they're kind of in line with each other over 5 years, but again, we saw a drop from the COVID point on, and so again, we discuss this. We kind of talk about we ask the students a lot of questions about your post-secondary plans. You want to go 4-year, but we know that some, a significant number don't at that point. And so we are trying to understand more from the students about what it is they're looking to do. And, if they go to trade school, they might do that and then go to the 2-year institution to get a degree. So we're trying to understand a little more about what the students' overall plans are if they're not attending a 2-year institution, because that may impact some of this data as well. But again, following up after they're gone is we can do it if they give us their email addresses, but sometimes we're just not able to track certain things down. And again, this is an annual report. The complete report is with you. We also share this information. We break it down for Blackhawk and Wooddale Junior High, and then we share that information to them as well. All of this data does go to them, what institutions their students that came from there to us are attending, and so on. So we do share that information as well with our 2 sender districts so that they have that information from us.
Is that it?
Questions? Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
All right, this is back to me, class rank discussion. So one of the things that I think you all have learned about Fenton and that I'm really proud of is that we're always examining our past practices and things that we've done for a long time to make sure like they still serve a purpose, they still are good for students, and that they make sense. So this is something that was brought to us, I believe, before COVID, actually, this conversation started, and then COVID happened, and then we kind of just picked it back up, but it came from the guidance department talking about the publishing of class rank. So that's something that has been going on at most schools for a long, long time. And what we've found is that most schools actually aren't really doing this anymore. And the major reason is that class rank is a marker that colleges aren't collecting because it's pretty meaningless actually when you look school to school, like how a kid is doing at Fenton compared to like a New Trier or something like that. So colleges don't look at it, and what schools have found is it really just increases unhealthy competition for kids at the school for something that's not very meaningful. So that's something that we think, I have listed there a bunch of schools in the area that have already done away with publishing class rank. What our intention is to phase this out so that starting with freshman year, it will no longer be published on their transcripts or available for students. We will still have it in the background so that if there is any scholarship or anything where students want to know what their class rank is, but overall, this is something that most college applications don't require anymore. So we think this is it decreases unhealthy competition between students. And then this one's really important to me. Students are more likely to take rigorous classes they're interested in without worrying about how's this gonna affect something like rank. So to us, to the guidance department, and I think this is a pretty clear case, we agree with them that this is something that we can phase out.
Are we going to have an impact then with also phasing out valedictorian, salutatorian, and those things as well?
We already don't do that.
Okay.
We already have the top 5%. That will remain intact. So we do think it's important to make sure that we're acknowledging kids who are performing really well. So that will stay. So that won't have any impact on it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, let's keep moving. Thanks, Kate.
Yeah.
I think we're going to hand this off to Jose. There's been quite a few meetings on furniture for the STEM wing, and we're excited that the STEM wing is progressing nicely. We saw the technology. We're going to see a little more technology here in a little bit. But first, just a preview of furniture that we're going to be looking at with the STEM wing.
Yes, so very exciting. We've been working with educational environments based in Elk Grove Village since October of last year. We did 2 site visits at their location with our administrative team and our district architects, STR, to determine some options for the STEM wing. Fenton also hosted educational environments in our community room last month in order to get feedback from our teaching staff and students on the options that they preferred for the furniture in the STEM wing. We specifically are looking for seating for the science classrooms, seating and tables for the learning areas and the hallways, seating for the computer science classrooms, desks, chairs, and storage for our teachers, and then desks and chairs for the vacated science classrooms as well. And then we hope to have finalized estimates for all the furniture ready for the board to review at the next meeting. So just wanted you guys to see, this is, for example, the one on the right there, presentation area. That would be behind the learning stairwell, presentation area for students. Brittany, if you go to the next slide. Some of these options would be in some of the nooks and open areas in the learning area, in the hallways. So we'll have better pictures for you guys next meeting, but I just wanted you guys to see some of the options that they presented. And, you know, it was nice to get feedback from the students and the staff, because ultimately they're the ones gonna be using it every day, so.
I know I'm not the best at like coordinating colors and things, but are these the colors that were?
No, sir.
No. Wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
just,
one of the
just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, we did get feedback. They wanted darker colors to make sure, you know, they weren't you know, in terms of like having stains and, you know, some of those markings on that and stuff. So, yes, sir, we are gonna look at that.
Yeah.
Question.
I-
Go ahead. On the previous slide, there was an option. Do you know if a student chose that or a teacher, the previous, that
Which one? The one on the
presentation
right-hand
area
side? Yeah, that
option?
one we looked at as an administrative team with them because this would be for behind the stairwell.
The one with the presentation area
Yes,
option
ma'am.
too?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, on the right-hand side. Yeah, so that would be for there's gonna be a screen for presenting, and AVI will talk about that more in a minute here, but this is just an option for a small group to go out to the hallway and have, you know, another presentation done back there.
I guess I was just imagining students sitting in those seats and then students sitting in those chairs.
Mm-hmm.
And those students with their backs to the students in those, you know, I just was wondering who
Yeah,
consider
yeah, we
that.
were looking at that. I mean, again, you know, there's nothing definite, so
Yeah.
if that's something that we're concerned about, we can go back and talk to them.
We actually, we currently have something like that that's been used, and kids love it because it's more of like, kind of like an office feel. You know, like when there's a presentation, so you're kind of huddled together. So kids actually really love presenting in those. On the next slide, if you can go back or to the next one, the kids were really super interested in like the soft seating and things like that. And the company we're working with has been really awesome. They took a lot of feedback, and when we had them here, it was great because even some of our maintenance staff and custodial staff came in, and they were like, "Oh, you know, one of the things that's really hard to keep clean," and wrote it down and made adjustments. So I feel like they've really listened. Teachers were worried. We have mobile desks, and some teachers were worried, like, when I'm wearing a skirt and I sit like, and they're putting a shield on. So I mean, like, they've done just like a really excellent job of listening to everything. So yeah, those colors aren't the same and everything, but it's like when looking at the furniture, like looking at the pictures, then seeing this, I'm like, oh man, it's all starting to come together. So, but kids definitely had some input.
I like that you guys talked about the cleaning factor.
Yeah.
Because I keep looking at fabric and thinking, yikes.
Yep.
So hopefully it's.
Cleaning, our custodial staff talked about dragging it across floors, because that's what happens, and so like, I don't think we've left any stone unturned with this. It's been a really great process, collaborative.
Just one quick question. Yeah. Are these options all mutually exclusive? It doesn't sound like it.
I'm sorry, I don't follow your question.
Are these options mutually exclusive? It doesn't sound like it. You've got different furniture for different areas?
Yes.
Right,
Yep.
right. So there's classroom areas, and there's the open areas in the hallways, right.
Okay.
I think what we just wanted to kind of let the board know, we can go more in depth next meeting, we'll probably have a finance facility meeting. But, you know, I don't know, we can show desks and what the rooms look like themselves.
No, that's fine.
I think we're just trying to demonstrate, you know, some non-traditional type seating, more
Yeah, that's
comfortable, more types of environments we want to explore, particularly in those open areas.
That's all right. Well, I kind of liked them all. It would have been a shame if I had to pick.
Yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of everything. You'll see it all, yeah.
So I think the thing that's thrown myself and possibly re-throwing you off there is, we had like on the previous slide, you had like option 1, option 2. I think that's coming from like the slides that
That's
you're
what,
deriving
yeah,
this
so
from.
this
It's
was
not-
actually taken from their
their
actual presentation,
yeah.
and so I took some of the, you know, images from that.
So ignore option 1, option 2.
Yes,
It's
yes,
not
they
like
were-
a
all
choice.
Right,
These are the chosen options.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
that helps.
But, yeah, but as we kind of bring this to conclusion, I think the process was healthy in that students had an input. I think it was a really well-rounded process where different stakeholders could have a say and have an opinion. And I like that the company encouraged that, so
Yeah,
thank you
they did
for
a great job on it.
facilitating it that way. Rather than me sitting around with
Right.
Bruce and trying to pick the colors, right, Bruce? No, we don't want that. Okay, very good. Okay, next one is STEM Wing AVI Technology Discussion. Brittany's going to introduce our guest tonight.
Hello again. We're very excited to introduce you all to Kathleen and Tom from AVI Systems. We've been working very closely with them in the design of the AV equipment in the various spaces in the new the new STEM wing. So I'll hand it off to both of them to kind of dig into the various equipment we'll have in those spaces.
Thank you, Brittany. Hello, I'm Kathleen Santori. I'm a senior account manager at AVI Systems, and this is Tom Bukovac.
Yep.
He's our sales engineer. I pronounced his last name correct, so that's awesome. That's my win tonight. Do I just hit this to go to the next slide?
I'm not sure, do you want us to drive
Oh,
or?
yeah. Do you want me to ask you?
No, we can drive.
Just the big button on the remote.
And
Do you think you can handle our technology
he did
here?
it. I didn't want to go backwards.
So advanced.
Yeah, right. We'll test to see what your abilities are.
Well, thank you for having us here. We're very excited to be here to introduce ourselves. I'm here to introduce who AVI Systems is, introduce us, and then also share with you the design that we have developed with your technology department for the new STEM edition that you all are building. Just to give you a little overview of who AVI Systems is, we are a full K-12 solutions provider, and we're an integrator. We have offices coast to coast, as you can see. We have 41 offices across the United States, which is pretty awesome. We have a huge presence. Our Chicago office is actually right down the street. We're 15 minutes from here in Arlington Heights. We're right off of Algonquin Road. We have a beautiful experience center, so you're more than welcome to come by anytime you would like to, just to see our space. We'd be happy to give you an office tour anytime. What's really exciting is our company, our organization is growing. We'll be opening 2 new offices soon, and you can see it highlighted green on the map up there. We'll be opening San Antonio and Tampa, so we're actually really excited about that. So in the coming years, you're gonna see AVI Systems as an organization continuing to grow, especially in the K-12 market. I'm not gonna go into too much on this slide. I'm just gonna highlight a few things. If you're ever at an AVI event somewhere like an AVI Live or an AVI Connect, you will see our leadership team spend a great deal of time on this slide. This is our mission statement. We deliver better outcomes through the integration of human impact, systems, and technology. Basically, we want technology to work for you. Technology shouldn't impede you to be able to do your job. It should be able to help you do your job more effectively, and that is our mission statement. Last year, we were really proud to celebrate 50 years in business. That was a huge milestone for us. And we are really proud to tell our clients that we work with that we are debt-free. So as an organization, AVI Systems, we do not hold any debt, which means we're able to work with school districts, corporations on projects of any size and be able to procure equipment without any delay, which is pretty huge. We are the largest global AV service provider, so we have a huge global footprint, which doesn't really matter too much to education, but it's really cool to point out that we are in 50 countries, 172 cities, and we have over 6,000 plus employee owners. So at AVI Systems, we are employee owned, which is huge because you have every single employee across our organization vetted into all the projects that we work with. So at our Chicago office in Arlington Heights, we have over 70 employees working every single day to support your school district, ensuring that the project that we're working on is smooth. I'm not going to really go into too much on the other side of this slide. That's more for corporations, but it just shows that we have huge unified collaboration services, managed services, and additional deliveries that we can reach. This is our resume, our company profile. I'm not going to read it word for word. You're more than welcome to look at it in depth after the meeting. But just give you an overview of who I am so you know who I am. I've been working with school districts for over 18 years. I've been in the ed tech space for over 10 years. I started my career in the education market at Follett School Solutions in Woodridge. Many years ago, I worked with school districts with educational materials and school libraries. I saw a huge growing trend for technology, so I wanted to be a part of it. So I joined Tierney, and I worked with Tierney for over 10 years, supporting school districts across Chicagoland area with technology solutions, instructional technology. And I've been at AVI Systems for over 3 years, working with the same customer base I've been working with for over 10 years. I'm local. I've lived here my entire life. I grew up in Bolingbrook, went to Monmouth College. For the last 17 years, I live in Plano, so I'm out in the cornfields. So that's where I live, but it's not far to come out here, so always happy to come out anytime. So that's who I am in a nutshell in AVI Systems. I'm gonna let Tom introduce himself, and then he's gonna walk you through the whole design for the STEM edition with all the AV equipment that we've designed with your technology team.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, like Kathleen said, I'm a sales engineer for AVI Chicago. I've worked with education, whether it's higher ed or K through 12, like my whole career. And particularly on large projects like this, where we're working up front, designing something, building it later, new builds, additions, things like that. Yeah, so, as you guys know, you're building a relatively large addition onto the building. And what you're seeing up here, these different colors are classrooms and different areas where there are going to be integrated AV systems. And the reason why I say integrated is because it's not just like a TV on the wall or a speaker. It's a lot of different components, all wired up together, programmed to work as one cohesive system. And so all the sort of purplish spaces that you see across the top there are STEM classrooms. On the first floor and the second floor across the new addition, there's going to be 10 STEM classrooms. And then the green space you see there is a divisible sort of computer lab space. The blue circle that you see there is that presentation space that's behind the learning stair that we were just talking about, the furniture. You can kind of see that furniture in the background a little bit. And then the yellow that you see right there is the learning stair area, which is obviously an area for students to congregate throughout different times of the day, but it's also a large presentation space and event space in the building. And you can just kind of see the second floor there is more STEM classrooms, and then that learning stair, sort of carries up through both levels. Here we go. Yeah, so the STEM classrooms, this is, really the core of this edition. Each of these rooms is going to be able to do a few different things. It'll have 4 different displays. So it'll have 2 short throw projectors that are projecting onto whiteboards. So, content of any kind can be taken from a laptop or a mobile device and thrown up to those whiteboards, and then, drawn on, things like that. And then there's also 2 displays that are suspended from the ceiling. And so there's 4 displays within the room, all of which can be individually addressed. So, those can be, content can be thrown up from a laptop, from a mobile device, but then also what's, sort of in the top left there is a exhaust hood. And under that exhaust hood, there's a camera to where you can capture what is happening in that exhaust hood and send it up to those displays. So students, it's not practical to get, 25, 30 students all around that exhaust hood to see what's going on. So, you're able to throw that content up. There's also ceiling speakers, so we can play back audio within the space, be it from content or a mobile device. And then, there will be a touch screen on the wall that has a, intuitive interface that all the classroom instructors can understand. So turning the system on, selecting what the video source is and selecting where that source is going to go to, adjusting the volume level, all those kind of things. So this is happening throughout 10 different classrooms within the space. And then also in that divisible room that I mentioned earlier. So the divisible room, I don't have a separate slide on that, and that is because the divisible room is just 2 of these rooms with a dividing wall. And when you remove that wall, it's able to function as one large AV system with 8 displays and speakers, and you can throw content up wherever you want to.
That's a computer science room.
Yeah. And then the learning stair area, this is, a multi-purpose space. It's going to have a large video wall on the wall that you see sort of towards the south of the plan here. And that video wall during the day can be used for digital signage, promoting activities happening within the building. And then for events, you'll have the ability for a presenter to throw up, any kind of content up there, be it a video, PowerPoint presentation, et cetera. There's also 2 loudspeaker arrays that are on those walls. So because this room is very large, very reverberant, you've all probably been in a church before where it was maybe hard to hear what someone was saying as it was coming out of the loudspeakers. So these speakers are specifically designed for large reverberant spaces, and they're focused on speech. So the idea is that students can be sitting up those stairs, they can be up on the second level around the sort of balcony area, and everyone will be able to hear a presenter speaking through it. There's also these, you see some red squares sort of up at the top there. Those are connection plates for someone to sit with a mixer or a video recording device. And just like how, Brittany and team are doing today, they can sit in there for a larger presentation. So say you had a panel discussion with 4 people, 2 mics for audience questions. There could be someone sitting up there on the stair monitoring that, adjusting levels, just like how we're doing today. And then there is also a camera system in here, so you can record the presentations that are happening. There's wireless mics. And then there's also a hardware recorder device that, just allows you to do a simple video and audio recording of events happening in the space. And just like in the classrooms, there is a touch screen on the wall that provides some simple presentation capabilities. We might have times where there's just one person with a laptop and a wireless mic. We probably don't need full staff for that to run that event. And then when there's larger events, there's basically a setting on the touch screen that allows everything to run through a mixer and stuff like that. And that touch screen, just before anybody asks, can have a password on it, since this is in a public space, so students aren't just getting in and throwing up whatever YouTube video they want on the video wall. So, and then finally, we talked a little bit about this corridor sort of collaboration space. So there's going to be this circular furniture, and then there is a curved, sort of half circle wall that is all whiteboard material. And there will be a projector that is a short throw projector that is, projecting a screen onto that whiteboard. And so it can function as a whiteboard surface, but then also students can come in, they can connect a laptop or a mobile device, share their screen up there, whether they're giving a presentation or having a discussion about a project. And it's in kind of a nice, sort of semi-open area within the building. So it will be kind of cool in my mind, at least, to walk through that area and see students in a class or whatever presenting or having a discussion sort of in this non-traditional space. Yeah, and now I'll talk about the audit. Yes, I think that's our portion. I don't know how to go back. There we go.
Questions?
So, in light of everything being managed on the cloud and recent, education systems being compromised on said cloud, am I to expect that all of your control systems are not in-house but are remotely managed? Is that correct?
So yeah, all of these controlled systems are actually not on your network, at least at the moment. It's all localized. There's a small control processor. They almost function more like appliances than like a computer. And there is the ability for Fenton to put all of that equipment on their network at some point in time if they would like to later on, but at least at the moment that we've designed it, all these spaces are standalone and don't run any risk of, any sort of infiltration into your network.
So we're not going to have an Amazon
Or a
US,
Target,
East, West,
yeah.
one go down and suddenly all of our displays stop working.
Oh, yeah, no, that's definitely not something that would happen within these systems. They're all standalone. And that's actually a basic sort of concept with any classroom design, right? Is I've seen from other folks throughout my career that, someone designs a school, right, with 20 classrooms, and it's all reliant on one processor. And if that processor goes down, all 20 classrooms don't work. And that is absolutely the opposite of how we design systems. If each room is standalone. So if one room goes down, as technology does sometimes, you're just down one room and you're not down your entire school, if that's sort of what you're getting at, yeah.
No, just more of concern with, like I said, with most things nowadays, you don't have self-hosting, everything's hosted on the cloud, so the cameras and everything is connecting to remote resources that you guys control and manage remotely. That was the concern. Then there was gonna be the add-on question of what happens if you go out of business tomorrow?
Yeah.
And continuity in the usage of the product, but if it's all self-contained, that's a
Yeah,
much
it's all
better solution.
self-contained. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming out tonight.
All right, thank you guys.
Good luck driving out west. Okay. Bruce?
All right.
Nice graphic, Bruce.
Yeah, thank you. I
Login.
have a couple people assist me with that, so. Anyhow, so to sum up our district information items tonight, the district has used its current auditing firm, Chromebook and Amon, since fiscal year 2020. Their initial agreement went through 2022. A second agreement was approved by the board that goes through this fiscal year 2025. We did request them to submit a proposal to further extend our current contract by an additional 2 years. And then, so this would cover this year, which the pricing would remain the same that we've already agreed to, the 2026 year and the 2027 year. So the fees are mentioned there. The fee for 2025 would be unchanged. The 26 fee would go up 4.9% and then 5.4% for the final year. They did average, so that's a little bit up from what it's been in the previous years, but it's still, I think, in a reasonable range of what it's been in the past. We do recommend entering into, so this would be, even though it's for 2 additional years, it really is a new 3-year agreement, and that's how they had to structure it with the firm. Again, as I said, the 25 fee this year is unchanged from previous agreement. And as a reminder, the acceptance of this proposal would only secure the fee schedule with the board, but would be subject to annual renewal or cancellation. They've continued to be a proven and solid working partner with the district, and they have been responsive and timely with the reporting requirements. Part of my concern, I guess, or recommendation to move this forward now is the financial auditing firms for public school districts is shrinking. There's been 2 firms that I'm aware of that have gone out in the past 3-4 years. It's getting more specialized, more difficult for firms to come in to enter it or stay within it. And some of you may recall our previous legal auditing firm, pulled out of the school accounting business altogether. We just don't want to kind of get in that predicament. They've done a nice job. We'd like to continue the relationship with them and have an experienced auditing firm prepare the financial audit for us. So we'll ask the board to act on this later on this evening, but I'll certainly answer any questions that you may have now.
Okay, thanks, Bruce. And as you point out, will be an action item later for this to also be an action item on the AVI technology approval that you just witnessed. Okay, next we have FOIAs.
Yes, both of these have been resolved. Thank you.
Thanks, Jose. That's it for the informational items.
Next item, consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So, second?
Roll call.
Rego,
Yes.
Haid,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Kovac,
Yes.
Radzinski. Yes. Goodrich,
Abstain.
Lewis.
Yes. Motion passed.
Okay, then, as we move along, we just have a couple slides. First off, I want to highlight, I think there were 4 donations this month. It's such a giving community that we live in. I just want to thank those people that are looking for opportunities to support some of our programming. one of the main areas has been the incubator program, which we talked about several months ago, that growing program for kids with entrepreneurial spirit. So we want to thank the Bensenville Community Foundation for their donation, and of course, John Ricketts and Ken Kovac, who serve on that committee. And then also Jimmy Ochoa for his donation for the incubator program. He came in and visited with the kids and sat with them. You know, like for example, he's someone that grew up at Fenton High School, and he wants to give back. And it's just a tremendous opportunity where he can sit with kids and they can go through, this is my project, and get some feedback from someone that is actually out there in the real world and can provide insight. So we're thankful for these partnerships as they develop.
This is the UPS on Urban Park, right?
Yes, right, yep. Okay.
May I have a motion that the Board of Education approves the NetSec lease agreement as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Rego,
Yes.
Haid,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Kovac,
Yes.
Radzinski, Goodrich,
Abstain.
Lewis.
Yes. Motion passed. May I have a motion that the Board of Education approves the 2025-2026 school calendar as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Rego,
Yes.
Haid,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Kovac,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes. Motion passed. May I have a motion that the Board of Education give authority to the Fenton administration to proceed with the e-learning renewal for the 2025-26 school year, which would extend until the end of the 2027-2028 school year for a period of 3 years total.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Rego,
Yes.
Haid,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Kovac,
Yes.
Radzinski,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes, motion passed. May I have a motion that the Board of Education approves the fiscal year 2025 proposal with AVI Systems for the AV technology design and installation in the new STEM wing addition for the total cost of $587,826.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
What is the over-under on the budgeted amount for this versus where we came in?
That's within budget, yeah. The budget was about 550, so we're right there.
Fantastic, thank you.
It was competitively bid out, I assume?
It's cooperative pricing, so it's been bid, similar to what we talked about earlier with some other purchases of what we make.
All right.
Roll call.
Rego,
Yes.
Haid,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Kovac,
Yes.
Radzinski,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes, motion passed. May I have a motion that the Board of Education approves the fiscal year 2025 purchase of 335 Lenovo 500E Gen 4 Chromebook computers for the class of 2029 from CDWG for the amount of $167,835, of which $51,592 of Title I funds will be used.
I'll make the motion.
A second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Rego,
Yes.
Haid,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Kovac,
Yes.
Radzinski,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes, motion passed. May I have a motion that the Board of Education accepts the 3-year pricing proposal from Lauterbach and Amon LLP to complete the financial audit for the fiscal years ending June 30th, 2025 through June 30th, 2027, with the reservation to renew and extend or terminate annually.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Rego,
Yes.
Haid,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Kovac,
Yes.
Radzinski,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes, motion passed. Does anyone have any committee reports?
The next meeting of the Bensonville Foundation will be on March 27th. As was reported earlier, the grant for the incubator was approved at the highest amount requested, $5,000. The presentations by our students and staff and their attendance was well received, so things are going well. We tabled 2 items, we approved several others, we're within budget, and they have their big donation from Subaru, so things are moving along.
Fantastic.
Well, I attend to NASIC back in February 10th. We got the operational board meeting. We got the monthly financial reports, the project insurance, of course, the transportation bids, and like every year, the policy manual revisions, an update for the strategic plan, the articles of agreement from some of the vendors, and everybody is welcome to attend the next board meeting on that new TLC building on March 10. It's right here in Bensenville.
Nothing on the finance and facilities this month?
Or policy or.
Yeah, there's no policy this month.
Okay.
That should be a report. Yeah.
Our next board meeting will be Wednesday,
I'm sorry, that's a typo.
Oops.
March what?
26th.
26.
March 26th, 2025, at 7 p.m. with a tentative finance facility committee meeting at 6 p.m. prior to the regular board meeting. May I have a motion and a second to go into closed session for the following? A, 5 Illinois CS 120/2C1. The appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or specific volunteers of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee, a specific individual who serves as an independent contractor in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or a volunteer of the public body, or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. However, a meeting to consider an increase in compensation to a specific employee of a public body that is subject to the Local Government Wage Increase Transparency Act may not be closed and shall be open to the public and posted and held in accordance with this act. B, 5 Illinois 122C3. The selection of a person to fill a public office as defined in this act, including a vacancy in a public office when the public body is given power to appoint under law or ordinance, or the discipline, performance or removal of the occupant of a public office when the public body is given power to remove the occupant under law or ordinance. And C, 5 Illinois CS 120/2C21. Discussion of minutes of meetings lawfully closed under the Open Meetings Act, whether for purposes of approval by the body of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated by section 2.06.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Rego?
Yes.
Haid?
Yes.
Figueroa?
Yes.
Kovac?
Yes.
Radzinski?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes. We're in closed session.
Okay.
Back into open session.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Reed's right there.
Hold on, you guys went a little bit too fast. Rego? Here. Haid? Here. Figueroa?
Here.
Kovac?
Present.
Rosinski?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lewis?
Here. Here. May I have a motion that the Board of Education of Fenton Community High School District 100 approve the amended employment and release agreement for James Untanko?
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Rego?
Yes.
Haid?
Yes.
Figueroa?
Yes.
Kovac?
Yes.
Rosinski?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes, motion passed. May I have a motion and a second to adjourn?
So
All in
moved.
favor? Aye.
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 Thank you and good night.
Thank you.